Never underestimate a man with a loyal base in a global crisis. While the world is focused on bombs, borders, and breaking news, someone is quietly gaining power. And that someone is Donald Trump. There's a war going on, and not just the kind with tanks and missiles. It's a war of influence, of money, of narratives. While headlines keep flashing updates about foreign conflicts, there's something happening behind the scenes in America, something most people aren't noticing. In today's video, we're breaking down how Trump is actually benefiting from the current global war politically, financially, and even socially. Whenever there's a major war, especially one involving US allies, interests, or even enemies, it tends to reshape the political conversation. Suddenly, people stop talking about domestic problems. Gas prices go up, food prices spike, and fear takes over the headlines. That fear? It changes how people vote. It changes what they care about. And it opens the door for certain politicians to step in and say, "I told you so." And that's where Trump steps in. Recently, the ongoing conflict between Iran, Israel, and US interests has taken a sharp turn. Iran launched a missile strike at the US airbase in Qatar, but thanks to advanced warning and strong defense systems, most of the missiles were shot down with no casualties. Qatar played a quiet but crucial role in de-escalating the damage. Trump jumped on the opportunity, calling the attack very weak, and even claiming he helped broker a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Whether that's fully accurate or not, it doesn't matter to his supporters. What matters is the image he's pushing, that of a strong, calm leader who doesn't panic and who can supposedly stop wars just with his words. While Biden remains tangled in foreign policy struggles, Trump is using this moment to show he still holds influence on the world stage and, more importantly, to remind Americans what he says they lost when he left office. He's been preaching the same message for years: America first, pull back from global conflicts, stop spending billions on other countries, focus on our own borders. And every time war breaks out, whether it's in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, or anywhere else, more Americans start to think, maybe he was right. It's not just about the message, it's about timing. When wars happen, they create chaos. And in times of chaos, people look for strong, familiar leaders. Even those who don't like Trump's style start remembering how he kept America out of new wars during his term. Under Trump, the US didn't enter any new major conflicts. That's a fact. Whether you credit Trump's foreign policy or just good timing, the result is the same. People see him as someone who kept America out of war. That perception is powerful. Now, with the current war dominating news cycles, that peace through strength image is making a comeback. Even people who were on the fence before are now listening to his speeches again. They're nodding when he says, "We wouldn't be in this mess if I were still president." War is expensive, not just for countries, but for political campaigns too, because war grabs attention. It dominates headlines, social media, dinner table conversations, and any politician who knows how to tie their message to the war directly or indirectly can raise a lot of money. Trump's campaign knows this. Whenever conflict flares up, Trump's team sends out fundraising emails that say things like, "Biden's weakness is costing lives. America must stay strong. Are you with us?" And those messages work. His supporters click. They donate. Millions flow into his campaign while the world watches missile strikes on TV. In a weird, twisted way, every new explosion overseas fuels a campaign here at home. Not just because of fear, but because it activates emotions. Emotions are what drive donations. Here's another thing. War is the perfect distraction. Trump is facing legal issues, court cases, and investigations. But when there's a war happening, those stories get pushed to the background. News outlets focus on the war. Social media trends shift, and suddenly, the negative headlines about Trump don't feel as urgent. In fact, his team uses the war to flip the script. They say, "Look at what Biden's doing. We're spending billions overseas while Americans can't afford groceries. This war wouldn't have happened under Trump." That's the core of Trump's entire brand. Make America Great Again wasn't just a slogan, it was a strategy. And during times of global conflict, that strategy hits harder than ever. Suddenly, slogans like "Build the Wall" or "America First" feel less like political stunts and more like urgent calls to action. More Americans start to see international conflict as a reason to toughen up at home. And Trump offers that tough image, the strongman persona that feels reassuring in uncertain times. Media outlets can't resist broadcasting his reactions to war, his clips get shared, his interviews go viral, and once again, he's at the center of the conversation. Foreign leaders pay attention, allies second-guess their decisions, enemies analyze his tone, and back at home, his supporters double down on his message. The war becomes not just a global conflict, but a platform for Trump to reshape public opinion. The US is handling the current conflict with a mix of military strength, diplomatic pressure, and regional coordination. After Iran launched 14 missiles at the Al Udeid air base in Qatar, US and Qatari defenses intercepted nearly all of them, preventing any casualties. The Biden administration has responded by keeping troops on high alert, reinforcing key bases, and working with Gulf nations to avoid a larger war. Meanwhile, Trump has inserted himself into the situation by calling the Iranian attack very weak, praising the US military response, and claiming he helped broker a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, though that hasn't been confirmed. Still, his public involvement has stirred debate and shifted attention toward his image as a tough, no-nonsense leader. While Biden handles the official response, Trump is using the moment to position himself as the stronger alternative, someone who, according to him and his supporters, could have prevented this chaos altogether. America, being the world power, is handling situations smoothly as everything is under control with the orders of Donald Trump, as Trump always has. Plan B in his mind if Plan A doesn't work. Now here's the real kicker. In times of peace, elections are about hope, growth, progress. But in times of war, elections are about fear, and fear changes everything. Fear makes people vote for the person they think will protect them. Not the nicest person, not the smartest person, the strongest one. The one who promises security even if that promise is wrapped in bold, controversial language. That's where Trump shines. He doesn't try to calm people down, he amplifies the fear and then offers himself as the solution. And in wartime, that strategy works like magic. So how does Trump benefit from the current war? He gets stronger poll numbers, he raises more money, he silences criticism, he dominates the headlines, and most importantly, he repositions himself as the answer to the chaos. Whether you agree with him or not, one thing's clear. While others are reacting to the war, Trump is using it. Strategically, relentlessly, and very effectively. Watch the next video to see how Trump's comeback plan is already in motion.